Hello and good afternoon, Canvas Real Estate Miami Lakes team. This is yours truly, Coach Joel Milian, and here I am. It's shortly after 11, and today I am going to be sharing for the first time ever that I've ever been, or since I've been coaching, that I ever do this business planning class. So this is a first for me. I put some effort in it, and what I have done is I have scoured and researched and everything that I've had, all the material that I've had for years collecting. I put it here together uh, to present to each and every one of you. So hopefully I will be of added value, and by the end of this class, or the better said, this training, um, that you would have a little bit of an idea as to what it is that you need to do for 2024 and beyond. Because it's not just, this is just not a one-time thing. This is a every year occurrence. As a matter of fact, if you are serious about this business, this is something that you should be doing on a regular basis, which is evaluating your business, setting goals. So you're going to get a little bit of everything here. You're going to get some goal setting. You're going to get some assessment as to where you're at. This is also going to be a little bit interactive. So I wish you would be here in person, because if you would, then I would give you a couple of items that I'm sharing with a couple of the agents that are here. I am joined by two agents, possibly three. Marlene later on, which she is going to assist me with a certain exercise in regards to putting the numbers together. And we're just going to make the best of it. So Iala needs to leave at 12:30. I'm going to see if I could finish this within the next hour and 15 minutes, hour and 20 minutes. I could be long-winded, as some of you know, like a good Cuban. I like to talk a lot, but hopefully we're going to make the best of it. And again, I look forward to being of added value to you. By the way, this is also being recorded. So if you're not listening and basically you want to do this afterwards, each and every agent in our office is going to receive the presentation and the recording. So that we're going to do. The only thing is that you are not going to have me to ask me any questions, or again, go through the interactive forms that we're going to be working on. So with that said, let me start the presentation here. So the first thing that I'm going to share here is the difference between top producing agents and average agents. So first and foremost is about mindset. Second, consistency. Third, habits. Fourth, time management. On this, I am going to be sharing with you a kind of a business schedule for those of you who are full-time agents. Uh, and even if you're not a full-time agent, it's okay, because a schedule is a schedule, and you need to have a business schedule for whatever hours you invest to your business, to your real estate business, and not only your real estate business, and everything in your life. So I'm going to be sharing the topic of block schedule, which I think is the key to time management, and that is to keep you focused, which leads to the fifth item here with focus. A top producing agent, the difference between a top producing agent and an average agent is that the top producing agent focuses better, does better, and due to the way they focus. I will admit that that has been my challenge. And I guess it's my personality or the way God wired me. I'm like a squirrel. My wife says, "You're like a squirrel. You see a shiny thing and you go and you go for it, and and whatever it is, I get distracted easily, and I've stopped fighting it. Although I've improved with time, and I've improved, and due to that, I've become a little bit robotic. I'm meticulous sometimes, and it's not good. It's not a good trait to a certain extent, but it's what I have to do in order for me to focus. I have certain routines, which I'm sure each and every one of you have, and that's what helps me out. Number six, and accountability. This is where I come into play. This is where a coach comes into play, is you being held accountable. What is it that you are looking to do? What do you want to accomplish? And who's holding you accountable? So number one, your family is going to hold you accountable. And if you're married, your spouse is going to hold you accountable. Your children are going to hold you accountable. But more than anything, your finances will hold you accountable. Okay. That's the one that does not forgive, your finances, which is your monthly expenses, your bills. Everybody, or for the most part, I would say 90+% of the people, between 80 and 90% plus of the people, they have a mortgage over their head. They got to pay electric. They have to pay utilities. You eat, you drive a vehicle, you have to pay for gas, insurance, credit cards, and if you want anything else in life, then obviously it takes finances. So accountability, your finances are going to hold you accountable. Number seven, systems. And system is very key. A top producing agent has systems, and that's where my position is, to help you build systems out. And part of what you're going to see is systems. Systems that I have in place, that I've worked, that I've used, and that I'm sharing with you. And number eight, the desire to succeed, based on the book that you see here, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Chapter 2, Desire to Succeed. I used to have here will, but a couple months ago when I started rereading this book, it changed my paradigm, and it's really about desire. It's what is the desire that you have to succeed, and based on that desire, then you're going to put things into place in order to assist you to succeed in whatever it is that you set out to do. Now, here's 10 commitments of real estate, and this I got from Mike Ferry. So the 10 commitments, and I'm not going to invest too much time in here, but I am going to share something in the middle and in the end of this. So reading my business plan in depth every week. So each and every one of you needs to have a business plan. Okay. And you should be reading that every week. The 5 equities in life, this you could do on your own. Write one sentence goal next to each of the 5 above of the above 5 equities: physical health, mental health, spiritual health, family, and financial health. Number 3, maintain a positive attitude every day. And here's a very important sentence. Attitude is a reflection of how we see somebody, something, and how we feel about somebody or something. By the way, you don't have you don't have all the slides. Okay, so again, attitude is a reflection of how we see somebody, something, and how we feel about somebody or something. So what is happening right now as you listen to me? What is your attitude and what are you thinking? Now that's attitude. Okay. Now this one, number 4, this is, I believe it's one of the most important things for a real estate agent, is following your schedule. Follow your schedule 75 to 80% of your time. So again, each and every one of you, if you're listening to me, make notes, and I'm going to share with you items and tools that you need to have. So one of the items that you need to have, and write it down, is you need to have a planner. A planner, and I'm going to recommend A Week at a Glance. I actually been using one for almost 7 years. This is going to set you back about $30 to $40. It's called Action Day Planner. But the key of the planner is that you're able to see your week at a glance by hours. Okay. And I'm going to show it, just share it with you. You're able to see your week and your day by hour. And what you're going to do is blocking out your schedule. Okay. Now, this one that I use is very convenient for me. And the reason is because it has a pencil holder, as you could see here on the side. For me, it's convenient. It has pages in the back for notes. And again, I'm not going to get any commission for sharing this with you, but it's something that's worked for me. It has blank pages in the back in the event that you happen to be in a training or you happen to be in a meeting with someone or whatever it is, and you're able to jot down notes. And in the back, it has a little pocket that you're able to put all your bills or anything that you care that's important. And aside from that, it has 3 strings for where you're at this week, where your notes, at least where I use it, and where I'm able to see my calendar the whole year. And in the front and in the back, it basically has the complete year laid out, day by day, week by week. And very important, it on the upper right-hand corner, it has the week number. So if you're coaching with me, that will be very instrumental because based on the strategies that I lay out, and now that reminds me, well, it's not important, is if you're following my program and if you're part of the productivity coaching program, there's a process or a tool that I use called DTD2 that you call your contacts by week, 2 letters a week, depending on the week of the year, the 5th week of the first quarter, the 7th week of the second quarter, and you just do the math. So this planner is actually very helpful. The one that's more cost effective is the week at a glance. That one's about $20, $20+ but it's important. Make a note of it. Each and every one of you, if you want to succeed in this business, you need to have an agenda. I know we have beautiful software, Calendly, and all these bills and whistles that everybody uses for their scheduling. That's great. If that works for you, more power to you. I know what works for me. And I know, and the one who taught me about using a calendar knows a little bit about business, which is Gary Keller. And he's a billionaire, not a billionaire, but a multi-millionaire. And he says, in your calendar, you have to have a calendar because if you erase, you must replace. So that's a quote directly from Gary Keller. Number 5, keeping my personal life out of my business life. This is very key. I think that one of the biggest challenges that we as real estate agents have is keeping our personal life out of our business life because our families, being that we have flexibility with our schedule, they think that we're not working. And they'll tell you, hey, could you do this? Could you do that? Could you run an errand? Could you go here? Could you go there? They'll call you at any time of the day. And we love our family, but we have a business. If you would be working in a job of 9 to 5 and you would have a boss and someone calls you a family member, chances are, you won't pick it up because your boss doesn't want you to use your phone, So keeping your personal life out of your business life is very important. Number 6, keeping my emotions between the lines or keeping your emotions between the lines. Number 7, developing your sales skills to the highest level. That means you knowing your dialogues, you knowing your scripts, knowing what you're going to say, knowing how you're going to respond. If you communicate with your customers, your communications should be very similar. You need to, they need to be scripted to a certain extent. You're reaching out to people by text message. You're requesting showing appointments. I can show you on my phone. I have a script for requesting showing appointments. It's just, it's short, but it's to the point and it provides everything. And I don't get a second question. Oh, what is it? At what time you want to see? What property? What's your license number? No, everything. I give them everything up front. This one, is very important. This is great, especially starting the new year. Number 8, working 40 to 50 hours of real hard work and a minimum of 250 days a year. Now, let's do math. There's 365 days a year. However, you have your weekends. So let's just take 2 days out of 52 weeks, that's 104 days. That right there puts you into the 250, let me see, 261 days. So that means you still got 11 days for vacations and long weekends, extra days. Okay. So again, the goal, work a minimum of 250 days. Okay. Prospecting daily, lead follow-up, going on presentations, negotiating contracts. Okay. Number 9, do what your coach tells you with no editing. And number 10, very important, doing the right thing 100% of the time for my customers. Now, these are the 10 things that mega agents do. Okay. I'm just going to go through a couple of these. Mega agents are accountable for their own success. They are always moving. Mega agents are relentless and fearless lead generators. Mega agents know their numbers and know their market. Mega agents know their value proposition. Mega agents protect what they earn by taking care of their financials. And this one is very important. Mega agents are good at delegating. And mega agents maintain a positive outlook and attitude while staying in an objective mindset. That's number 10. So here's the part that we're going to do an assessment. And unfortunately, if you are online, you're going to miss out this part. If you're listening to this recording after the fact, you're going to miss out. But I'm going to ask the 2 agents that are here, the 2 ladies that are here, to take 5 to 10 minutes, and it doesn't matter where you're at. And I want you to take a look at the scorecard, and I want you to rate these. Where are you currently at? And this is just for yourself. Okay. So let's take the time to do this, this assessment, and we'll take 5 to 10 minutes. I'm going to do it myself, and I might share a couple of where I'm at. So I'll just pick a handful of them. And if you are listening, feel free to just look at a couple of these items and see where you're at. Just make some notes on it. So let me bring it back up. We're going to give ourselves 5 to 7 minutes. All right. We'll give it 2 more minutes. Now, as you go through this, and if you're listening to the recording, as you go through your scorecard, there's going to be certain items that are going to be low, and it's okay. Some that are going to be medium, it's okay. And high, that's great. Okay. Now, the key to this is that you do this, I would say, every 6 months. Do it at the end of the year, during do a halftime check in the middle of the year, and where you're at, then this is where you're going to plan on what it is that you need to improve. If you find yourself in the medium spectrum, that would be average, okay? Unless you're in the high end, trending towards the high. So on the medium, we got a 5, 6, or 7. If you're on the 7, then you're trending to a high, to go into, that agent, that top producing agent. And then there's some areas that you're really hitting it, that you are scoring high, then that's great. Continue, keep the pace there. All right. So I'm just going to share, and actually I'm gonna have the ladies share with me where they're at on just a couple things. Okay. So on mindset, where are you, Ayala and Nicole, on a scale 1 to 10? Medium. What number? 5 or 6? Which one? 5. All right, Ayala. 6, 7. Okay. So I'm at a 7 there. All right. Lead generation, marketing. Well, let's just say number 4, lead generation and prospect, on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay. Okay. And Nicole's just starting, so she's just starting in this business. I'm at a 4 myself because I'm not doing the prospecting that I should be doing. I'm gonna jump to a buyer consultation, number 9. Yala, where are you on a buyer consultation?
Buyer consultation? Yes, I'm 9.
Okay, so I'm gonna rate myself a 9 as well. That I could get a buyer and take them through the process of the home buying process, and I'm very comfortable there, and I'm strong in that. Let's do number 16, an easy one.
Oh, wow.
Customer service. Where are you at in your customer service? 9. Okay.
Take care of them.
Be-
Whole process and transaction.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So I'm gonna rate myself a 9. All right. Now, the hard one on the second page, there's a second page to this, which I failed to share. And this is the hard ones. Okay. So money I have saved. I'm not gonna pry into anyone's finances personally. Money I am making, that I'm gonna say I'm in the middle. I'm average. I'm not making as much as I should, but I'm not making as little as an average agent is. And then number 4, time with my family. I think that out of everything, this is key. So on this one, where are you currently at? Time with family on the second page.
Oh, I'm like 7.
7, okay.
I would like
Okay. And Nicole?
7.
A 7? Okay, good. This is one of my strong points. I would say an 8 on myself. Okay. So this is just here for yourself to assess, to evaluate yourself, to make you think, where are you currently at? And as you look at this, now, if you're on the lower part, okay, what could I do to improve a couple of these areas? Okay. If you're in the middle of the range, well, let's bring it up. Let's work and bring it up. Okay. So I hope that exercise will prove very profitable for you and very eye-opening, to say the least.
And your kids were like, when your kids were younger, like, were you doing real estate at that time?
Yes. So I've been selling real estate for full time since 2001, so about 22 years. And my oldest is 37, my youngest is 30. So let's go back 20 years. So they were teenagers. 2 of them were teenagers, and one of them was about 10 years old. So they were almost.
Because that's one of the things that is more important for people. There is some realtors that they don't succeed because they have family issues, like
Absolutely. So being that I was aware of this, I always had this awareness and top of mind about sharing time with my family. There's sometimes that they were a little bit off balance because, as you know, in our business, you could work I say technically you can work this business 24 hours a day if you wish. That's just me. There's always an email to send, always something to do, a market analysis to do, always updating something, always a note to write, creating systems. You can work 24 hours a day if you wish. But the majority of us, we work 10 to 12 hours. If you're driving this business hard, this is a 10, 12-hour business. Start at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, 7, 8 o'clock, and you're eating and you're hungry and you have a plate of food in front of you, but you're probably talking to someone. Okay. I've done that countless of times. The only time that I slow it down and I made it a point in my business is on Saturday after 6 o'clock, I shut it down for 24 plus hours till next day. I dedicate that time to my wife and, for myself, my spiritual part, go to church, relax, and then time with the family on Sunday afternoons. And then I pick it up Sunday night at 9 o'clock. That's what I did for many years. But yeah, it was challenging, was trying to balance both. But nevertheless, I kept it in balance because I was there for all the important things. I always, if the family needed something, the family was a priority. Especially when my mom, she was old, the last 10 years, and she widowed. So, I would block out my schedule at least once a week. I would have dinner with her. She would look forward to that. She would say my date night, and we'll have a date night, and she would treat me like a king. She would treat me like a king. And I was fortunate that the last 10 years of our life, I was able to do that just about every Thursday. I would say 80+ percent of the time on the Thursdays, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, I would show up. I would spend time with her 2 or 3 hours, and that was quality time. Yeah. All right. Now, we're going to do another exercise here, if you're still following. And this one you could do. And by the way, I welcome you, Diana. I see you there. And for Nicole and Iala, who are here, your big why. Okay. Now, on this, I'm going to share with both of the ladies that are here as to my first business planning class that I ever went to when I was with Keller Williams. And what's the date on that note, Nicole?
October 20, 2008.
Okay, October 20, 2008. So that was 15 years ago. And the first question that the moderator or the presenter asked everyone in that class, and there was about 100 agents, it says, the reason and the why as to why you're doing this business. And right there, I had just closed my office down. It was during the bust of the real estate bubble bursted, a burst that was the year where the market collapsed. And I had my own real estate office for 5 years. And I had joined Keller Williams over that summer. And this was basically my first training that I went to. And I wrote a note as to my reason for doing this business is to create and build an income stream where I wouldn't have to worry about money while I live and serve and fulfill the plan, purpose, and destiny that God created me for, which is to serve him and to build his kingdom on earth as it is in heaven by sharing his love and the message of salvation through Jesus Christ and by Jesus Christ. That was my big why. Okay. So for both of you who are here and for you who are listening and who will be doing this after the fact, hopefully, let's take a few minutes. Let's take 5 to 10 minutes again. And let's think about your big why. What is your big why? Have you thought lately about your big why? So let's answer these questions. Have you thought lately about your big why? Yes or no? Good? All right. So write it there. Right. If you're clear about your life purpose, it will give you credibility when asking others to determine theirs. Take a few minutes to write down your big why, and using the graphic below, organize your whys and place the most important at the top. So write, what is your big why? On the top of that arrow there. Now, on the bottom, it says, my other big whys, okay? Let's answer a couple of your other whys as to, you have your big why, and then answer a couple of the whys, okay? Why do you want, basically what I want you to do is go 5 to 6 levels as to the why, okay? So-
On the bottom of it.
No, you got your big why on the top, and then you go down as to, okay, why do you want to do that? What's your big why? What's the motivation for the big why? And then you go ask yourself another question. Why? Why is that important? And why is that important? And why is that important? And try to go 4 to 5 levels deep as to your big why. Yeah, these will be individuals, and just write a small, couple words there. Okay. All right, cool. So I'm gonna ask Yala and Nicole to give me their big why. And if they don't want to share, then I'll share. You're gonna defer? You gonna pass? Okay, gonna pass? All right. So my big why is to become a MREA. Now, the MREA says a millionaire real estate agent, but I want you to look, if you have a copy of this book, and at the end, I will share it, what the cover says. And the cover on the top says, what does it say on the top?
It's not about the money.
What else?
It's about being the best you can do.
Okay, it's not about the money, it's about being the best that you can be. Okay, so for me, that's what an MREA is about. Okay, but there's another component to it. Okay, that if you're the best that you're able to be and everything is in order, then you'll be able to have certain things and do certain things. So for myself is financial freedom, not worry about money, to be able to retire. It will be my retirement plan, acquire multiple investment properties, and leave an inheritance to my children. Aside from that, when I got this book, I wrote in the back of it, and this was many, many years ago, over 10 years ago. It says vacations with the family, having the ability to choose what I eat and drink and where I eat and drink, not having to worry about money for anything, whether pleasurable or in unfortunate cases, being able to give gifts to those I love without worrying about a budget, having good health, scheduling flexibility, choosing my own schedule to do what I want to do when I want to do it, retiring with a nest egg, making a difference in people's lives, sharing the blessings of life in abundance with others, becoming a motivational speaker, becoming a life coach, influencing people to go higher than ever than they thought that they could soar, sowing seeds of time, talent, and treasure, and having options or margins to do what I choose to do or need to do. So again, I still have that vision in my mind of why I'm doing this. And my time is getting shorter because with time I'm aging. I don't have the energy I had 20 years ago when I started this business. And I'm mindful of that. So my time is very limited. I need to choose to do certain things in order to narrow down that time. So I hope that whatever it is, whatever your big why is, that is enough motivation for you to do this business, break through this business. And when you feel like quitting, that you would look at your big why and you will say, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to push forward. All right. So here I'm sharing a 12-week plan for 100% commission for those agents that they really want to pour it all out, say, I'm all in. You want to sell out and you really want to work 12, 14 hours a day. Well, that's part, a 12-week plan for 100% commission. This one, next one is a little bit softer. It's a 6-month plan for 100% commission. Okay. And for most agents starting this business, and if you're a dual career agent, I have here a plan, a 12-month plan for 100% commission or 1 transaction a month. Now, I want each and every one of you to focus on something here, which are really about the 5 items on the top. Number 1, building your database to 200, 250 people as soon as possible with gold or solid gold information. Gold information being name, phone number, email address, or mailing address. That would be 3 of those 4 items. Solid gold information is name, phone number, email address, mailing address. Okay. Now, why do you want to do that? Because you want to be able to communicate with your database, with your customers, with your future customers on a more effective basis by activating a 36 touch smart plan, in which I have a plan. I'm not going to share it here, but if when you sit down with me, or if you want me to share it with you, I'll be more than glad to do so. So just reach out to me. So that means that within a given time, a year, or better said, 36 times, your customers or your future customers are going to hear from you. Okay. Now, number 3, calling your database 4 times a year using the DTD2 quarterly strategy. Again, that strategy is there's 13 weeks to a quarter. There's 26 letters to an alphabet. You're going to take 2 letters every week and you're going to call those names on that particular week. If you do this systematically, you'll be able to go through your complete database on a quarterly basis. And then when you get to the second quarter, you do the same thing. Okay. That's one way to organize yourself and to keep yourself knowing who you're going to call on a weekly basis. And that should be at the early part of your week. On your Mondays and Tuesdays, when you start your week, you want to get through your database, through the assigned letters of your alphabet. Number 4, send the item of value mail out every month for 12 months as part of your 36 touch smart plan. Okay. So that means that you're going to send them. You got to find the way this will work is if you don't have a third party company to do this for you, you're not going to be successful. So it's going to cost you money It's gonna take a small investment from your business, from your finances to make this happen. So you could build this out. For myself, 200, 250, I usually market to my past clients, usually about 150, give or take at any given time. And that's who gets a monthly mailing from me. I don't do it on 12 months. I do it about 7 to 8 times a year. But if I don't pick up the phone, they're seeing me in their mailbox. Okay. And number 5, activate a market report for everyone in your database, either bi-monthly. I recommend bi-monthly or monthly. So depending on where you're at on the spectrum of your communications with your customers. And that's why you need solid gold information, which is name, phone number, email address, and mailing address, because now you're able to send them a market report on a monthly basis and use KV Core and leverage technology and let, you just set it once and let it, and let technology do the work for you. Okay. Other than that, I'm going to recommend one more thing here. Number 10, use social media strategy 5 times 5 times 5. That means on a daily basis, 5 comments, 5 likes, and 5 instant message hellos. Okay, so just reach out to those contacts, and that's it. You could do that in a matter of 15, 20 minutes, half an hour. I recommend that everyone should have a social media strategy that you block out a certain time in your day, because otherwise you could be on there all day long. Okay. So for me, I usually do it after hours for the most part, after 7 when I'm home, relax. And if my wife doesn't need anything from me, my grandchild doesn't need anything from me, then I'll go on there and I'll invest about an hour, and I give myself a time, about an hour max, and just go through my social media scroll. Number 12, reading 1 book a month. Here I brought a list, not a list, but I brought some books that I have read and I recommend good reads for you. So my mentor is John Maxwell. This one is The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. Here's another book, Today Matters. Great, excellent book, very plain English, very easy to read, very powerful book. Here's another one, The One Thing. This is where the block scheduling comes from. This is written by Gary Keller. Obviously, the MREA book, and Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. There's many good resources out there. There's a saying that says readers or leaders are readers. That holds true. And not only that, I'm going to challenge you. I read many years ago that if you invest half an hour a day reading, that you will increase your income anywhere between 25 to 35%. And it worked for me. When I became a more regular reader, and that I read more effectively, or better said, I read more regularly, that definitely had a impact on my income. Why? Because I wasn't thinking about negative things. I was always mindful, and I always had something to share, something of value with those that I met. So that's that on number 12. Reading 1 book a month. All right. Now, the top producers' goals. Top producers' goals is spiritual life, family life, your business life, your financial, and your personal. So keep that in mind, because we're going to do another exercise here. And if you're listening, you won't be able to do this, but for the agents that are here, I want you to just go through the last assessment here of where are you right now. So take 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and go through that, assessing where you are right now. And your options are survival, stability, success, or significance. All right. So this is just for you to be mindful as to where you're at and where it is that you need to be working at in 2024. Now we'll continue here. The 9 areas of or areas of focus, the 9 scenarios. This is where most of us are in life. So profit, production, people, projects, psychology, mindset, physical health, and energy, priorities. 411, that's a tool that I use in productivity coaching for those agents that are a little bit advanced and that are really have this business in gear and that they want a higher level of accountability and that they're really looking at their goals on a monthly and weekly basis. And then the calendar and schedule. Now, part of goal setting. So the key to this business planning is really setting goals. And you're going to set goals. Here on this one, you have the someday goals, 5-year goals, 1 year, 1 month, 1 week, 1 day, or the now. You can take it from the top to the bottom or from the bottom up. Now, where it says 5 years, I would replace that with 3 years because right now life is so complicated. There's so much instability that it's a little bit difficult to project 5 years down the road. I don't know if any of you would agree with me to that statement, but I know that has been the case at least for the last 4 or 5 years, especially after COVID. So when you're setting goals, you want to do goals. Where are you now? What do you need to do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly, yearly, and then 3 years, and then your someday goals. Now, when you're doing goals, there's a strategy called SMART goals. Okay. SMART goals is specific. The who and the what, they need to be measurable, assessed, how, attainable. They need to be relevant, and more importantly, timed. Okay. So that's a strategy for writing goals, SMART goals. So when you're getting ready to do your goals, I recommend that you block out a good morning, a good 3 hours, minimum 2 to 3 hours. And this is perhaps one of the most important things you're going to do during the year, and especially at the end of the year. Okay. For us in the real estate business, it kind of slows down in December. So it's good that after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's, that you take a morning out to work on this, okay? And what I recommend is that you take these goal-setting worksheets, these 2 pages that are here, and just answer these questions. Get your mind thinking. Get warmed up, as I would say, and answer these questions. And so there's 2, get yourself a small journal book, anything, whatever it is that you use to write your notes in, something that you could look at and go through these questions. And then when you go through these questions, then go and write your goals. And what you want to write your goals again is, and what I shared earlier about the 5 areas of life, basically the spiritual, family, business, financial, and personal. And you can have goals for all these areas. Okay. Now, this part about the growth plan, very important to me. The growth plan is something that every agent should have. And that is, what is it that you're going to do next year? What trainings are you going to attend? Is there a designation that you want to obtain? What books do you want to read? what's going to be part of your plan? What's your growth plan? And have a plan for it. Because if you don't plan for it, it's not going to happen. So this is also one of these tools that I find it very, very useful for anyone who's interested in growing themselves. Now, this one here, this slide is the 7 circles of living a balanced life. So this comes out from the One Thing book. And the question there in the middle, it says, what's the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or necessary? For your spiritual life, for your physical health, for your personal life, for your key relationships, for your job. I would say these 2 circles you got here for my job and for my business. This is mainly for the dual career agents, in my personal opinion. If you're a dual career agent, you have a job, and then you have your real estate business. For us who are in this business full-time, then we merge both of them together because you have a job within your business. What is it that you do? What are your responsibilities? And then for your finances. Now, here's another exercise. We're not going to do this because this could be a little bit time consuming. So action plan for 2024 goals, projects to complete, the 5 largest projects for 2024. You could use this as part of for creating your goals. So you got 5 items there, your deadline date, your date of completion, new habits. What new habits do you want to create? Remember that we mentioned the difference between a top producing agent and an average agent is a habit, the habits that they create, the habits that they have. So here, what 5 new habits do you want to create in 2024? Systems to be developed. Again, agents, top producing agents, they have systems. So what systems do you need to implement in your business? And here, if you really want to get to the nitty gritty, I've added a list here of 56 items, business activities to increase your productivity. So just do this self-assessment. And this you could do within those 3 hours that I recommend for you to block out between Christmas and New Year's, 3 hours of your day. You can do it early in the morning when you get up one day, 7 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, knock it out by 9. You can do it in the afternoon. You go out, go to Starbucks or go somewhere where you're able to focus and think, have a cup of coffee, but work on this. And you could use this as part of an assessment, as part of your goal planning. And as you go through these exercises. All right. So here is where I'm going to bring in my manager, the business manager, the one and only Marlene, that she is going to show us an earning and production calculation exercise. I tried working on it. It wasn't working out. So I'm going to be the guinea pig for Marlene. And she's going to actually work on this live as to how this would work. And this was going to be part of what every agent is going to receive as to the numbers. So let me bring this up while she makes her way to the table. Yes, I will. Absolutely. All right. And by the way, you could use this computer, Marlene. I'll just sit here to the side. And we're going to do this together. And I'm going to actually give you almost real. Okay. So All right. So Ally, if you're there, could you unmute yourself? If you're listening to me?
Good morning, everybody.
All right. Ally,
Yes.
you can
Hello.
see the email that I sent you.
I
to-
can't hear you clearly. Hello.
Yes, you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello? Ally, you hear me?
Yes.
All right. You're gonna send the email that I sent you with the attachment of this work, of this exercise that me and Marlene were gonna do. You're gonna send it to Yala. You're gonna send it to Nicole, and you're gonna send it to Eden. That way they can have it.
And Joelle?
Oh, because you're gonna do it over there? Okay.
No, I'm gonna do it
Okay.
here. I just printed it up to have a reference just in
Oh, okay.
case. From when I did it back then. Okay. This is a beautiful interactive business plan that is offered every year through Breakthrough Broker. And it's free. So we're going to email this to the people that are here participating. And you're going to do your business plan interactive with me. As we scroll down, okay, it gives an explanation. Now, you could print a PDF like this I have in my hands. But I like the interactive PDF because as you're going along, you're going to plug in the numbers and we're going to do it together. So check this out. First, before you determine what you want to make, you need to know what your monthly personal expenses are, which are separate from your business expenses. Capiche? So have you received the email already from Miami Lakes admin?
And actually, so myself, going through this exercise, I was explaining to Marlene, I'm gonna do all my expenses. I'm not gonna. It gives you the option to do both, but I'm just gonna do just one.
But I think there's a purpose to doing it separately. I might be mistaken, but as we go along, because I haven't done this in over a year. But I want to make sure that before we get started and I start plugging in numbers, because I'm going to do presumably my numbers, okay? But you're going to be plugging in your numbers and you have to follow along because the system automatically calculates for you. Did you get the email? It's going to say business plan. Ally, have you already sent it? And while you do, I'm enjoying my wonderful
Not
coffee
yet. Hold on.
in my Canvas
Sending
real
it.
estate mug.
So while she sends it, a refill of water.
Okay,
Slow.
so I'm waiting for everybody to get it. You know, when new agents start with the company, I always say that you need to set up the foundation of your business, your branding, your social media, your CRM, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But as we progress in this industry, every November, you should be planning your business plan for the following year. Okay, because I remember Iala telling us that this year she made, let's say
What's
she
the email for Nicole?
but next year she wanted to make 250. I'm just throwing a number, okay? There is a way that you're going to get to that number. And after we finish this, it's going to tell you how many properties you need to list and how many properties you need to sell and close in order to achieve that magical number that you want to make. Okay? Because if you take the time to complete this and then you follow along, you're going to be able to have this, like when you put something on your refrigerator of what I need to do every month to get to that number by the end of the year. Capiche? Did you get the email? Ally? Ally?
Hold on. I'm still looking for Nicole's email and I'll send it.
Nicole is Nikki Nunez, realtor at gmail.com.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, So they should already have been receiving this. Okay, so when you get it, open up and go to page 3 automatically so we can start plugging in numbers. And remember, you're gonna plug in your numbers because it's personal to you, okay? Did you find it? You guys have it already? So we can get started? And you could save this, and if you ever need to tweak it, you can tweak it every quarter. If you're on how do you say that? When you're on target. Because I was telling them here, Joelle, earlier, that they might have a magical number of what they want to generate next year. 200,000, 300,000, 150,000, whatever. But they need to know how much they need to produce to get to that number and cover all their expenses, right? Okay. 1 second. I got it. Yeah. Okay, so Allie has sent an email to all of you. Go ahead and open it up and go to page 3. And this is interactive. So mortgage rent payment. We all pay something, right? We don't live under a bridge. No. So, actually my numbers had changed. Excuse me? What does it, what difficulty? Right. Okay, because you have to do it, look at the screen. 2,500. Right? Okay, so when you go down, there it is. You need to fill it in completely. No. You're looking at the interactive one, right?
Yeah.
Can you go see? But look how you need to input it, Irelis. 2,500.00. Go to page 3. So that's my monthly mortgage payment. Okay? But you have to put 0.00. If not, it's not going to add it for you. Okay, car payment. I would assume we all have car payments, no? Not everybody. If you don't have a car payment, that's fine. Are you filling this in? Yes, this is a workshop, but you plug in your numbers. Okay? Okay.
So whatever it is, whatever expenses you have, you write.
Personal. Personal expenses. If you have a second card, and please, I know there's a misspelled word. I love getting misspelled word on documents. You know that? Okay. Ready? Okay. Yala, what happened? You don't have it? Oh, okay. So, gas is pretty expensive. I was putting 300 to be conservative a month. I don't know how much you spend in gas. Luckily, I'm only 2.4 miles away. She has an electric car. Okay, $300 a month. I'm 2.4 miles. Maintenance. I have a new car, but you know what? I put in $50 a month because when you multiply it, an oil change and that car wash, because I tax deduct all of that. Absolutely. Okay. Car insurance. I know with that, I was 190. I'm going to give you a suggestion. after 35 years with State Farm,
That's
there
what
is,
happened.
okay, there is an agent here in Miami Lakes, Allstate. For what I was paying for my new car, we're paying 4 cars.
Wow.
I'll give you the tip after the
Okay,
class.
awesome. Yeah, because I had.
And with
they went up
Allstate.
$50 and my son, $100.
Yeah.
They're all crazy.
So let's not talk about insurance anymore. 190 I put here. So look where I am. It's adding up. So far, 3,834, right? Electric. Electric, I put 120. I live in an apartment, ladies and gentlemen. Yours is a lot more. Water, about $45. Yours is a lot more, Irelis? Okay, cable, I do 114. I mean, it doesn't need to be exact, but just an idea. I don't know about you guys, but I have like a spreadsheet for my budget, and this thing reminds me the days I have to pay things because my memory is right in Excel, but it alerts me. Yeah. Okay. $98 internet. I don't have a phone in the house. Who has a phone in the house? Nobody.
I will not.
And knocked it out. Me too. $139 for the cell. Give and take. Oops. Let's see here. I put entertainment, food monthly, about $800. I'm a foodie. We like to try out new restaurants. Okay. Travel, give and take, 250 a month. And I'm being very right because I have to be very conservative, but I go to New York a lot. And on the plane, I always talk about real estate to the people sitting next to me. It's a tax deductible is what I'm trying to get to. Okay, so yes, I go and visit my son while I'm there. But I do business because the first thing they ask a realtor, what is the first question they ask a realtor? How's the market?
Yes.
The market is great in Florida. Why aren't you investing in Florida? Okay. Okay. Childcare. I don't have that, but if you have childcare, okay. Savings, and I've been pretty good about this. I do about $400 a month in savings. Okay. Health insurance, I don't even want to go there. $151 a month, and it's a PPO. That's not bad. Oh, I got another suggestion. Because now is when you shop. After the class, I'll give you my agent. Okay. Credit card payments, about $500 a month. I am very good about this. I only have 2 credit cards. I use one for business and I use one for personal. I got rid of all the cards from the department stores.
Yeah. I just have.
And you know why? I know, but the interest rate is very high. So I
But
gave up.
But the discount is only.
No.
They have perks. No, they have perks. But that's not okay. Yeah. Oh, you want to hear a funny tale? When I started in the business 23 years ago, I wasn't incorporated. So, you would save all the receipts. So I would take all the receipts to the accountant, who's still my accountant today, by the way. The toll receipts, the gasoline receipts, the store receipts. So he calls me the second year and he says to me, Marlene, do you buy a lot of closing gifts at Burdines? So-and-so, what are you talking about? Yeah. Do you buy a lot of closing gifts at Burdines? And I said, what does that have to do with my taxes? And he says, well, I have a stack like that. Oh, yes, I buy beautiful clothes. This is a true story. So I didn't pay attention to him. So the third year, he calls me again. and asked me the same question. And he says, can I do something for you? And I said, whatever. He says, I'm going to send you your taxes on a personal level. And I'm going to send you your taxes if you would have had a corporation. The savings was 22%.
Absolutely.
That was an eye opener for me.
So for everybody listening, one of the things that you need to put as your goal for 2024
Is to be incorporated.
Incorporate yourself. A PA. Your goal-
Or
that's-
an LLC, whatever your
LLC.
accountant advises.
That's going to give you a raise, an automatic raise.
Because the big
Go into that.
savings in incorporating yourself is the self-employment tax that you're going to save substantially, okay? Where you can literally write off everything except your personal expenses. But I do give a gift card to Massage Envy or to Starbucks, or I do buy a very nice bottle of liquor, Blue Label, for a customer. I even gave a customer one time, a very large customer, a cruise, a 7-day cruise for him and his wife.
Wow. No. People get-
And they took full advantage of it, okay? So credit card, miscellaneous. Kind of put miscellaneous. I don't know why I put 498. There must be something that I used to, just miscellaneous. That's, you know what? That miscellaneous could be when I go to the hair salon, when I go and buy myself something every month that I treat
Something that you-
myself.
Something that you don't find an item line for.
Yes, and then I had another expense. This was a personal expense that I put as other. So my monthly personal expenses, full disclosure, is about $7,000 a year, a month, right? Okay, so now we go to the next section. So are you all plugging in your numbers? If you can go back, you're gonna save this, and then you could go back and tweak it. But you need to know your numbers, because if you don't know what your expenses are, you don't know how much you need to bring in to cover those expenses and then have a cushion for a rainy day, for a trip that you want to do, for a high ticket item that you want. Okay, maybe you want to buy a new car, maybe you want to invest in another property, so on and so forth. So as you go along here, it tells you an example. This is an example. This is not me, okay? It gives an example hypothetically of someone that has $7,000 worth of monthly expenses. Multiplied by 12, they need to produce a minimum of $84,000 a year. Okay, does anybody want to share what they need to produce a year? Yeah,
They were there, like, you have someone that keeps your house and the coordinator.
no, that's a business expense, the coordinator, the transaction coordinator, whereas somebody that cleans the house would be personal. Now I have somebody that cleans the office. I was finally able to graduate and I don't have to clean the office anymore. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so look at what the system did. It plugged in my 7,133. Capiche? So I need to bring in minimum to cover my personal expenses. I haven't put my business expenses, 85,596. ¿Está bien? Okay, let's keep going. Now, how much do you really want to make? Okay, when I did this exercise, and I'm going to continue with the exercise, but then I'm going to really take it to reality. I wanted to make that year, or maybe this year, $160,000. But look what it says, target take home. Okay? But you got to filter, you got to factor in expenses, personal, business, and you have to factor in taxes. Uncle Sam doesn't forgive us. We have to pay tax, right, Joel? Okay, so here we go. Look at the example, okay? The example, I believe that they're giving you, your targeted take-home income is 120,000, and you estimate your tax rate to be, let's say, 30%, give and take, based on your bracket, right? So, okay, so it says here, if the bracket is 30%, okay, I need, and I have to pay that in taxes. That means that my take home would be 120. But when I add that, my take home will really be 171. This is the example. Now let's do reality based on my $160,000. Okay. Now, in my case, my tax bracket, since I have, and it's probably even lower now, is 25%. I think once you pass maybe 200,000, you're in a higher tax bracket, but then it's going to be offset by all your business expenses. So with a corporation, you could go as low as maybe 18%, give and take. Okay. So look what it says here. In order for me to pay my tax bracket of 25 and take home 160, I would really need to produce $213,333. Because from that amount, we take the taxes, we take the personal expenses, business expenses. This is a formula that you can't really play with, in the sense that it's telling you the reality, what your tax bracket is. If your tax bracket is 18%, for example, let's change that. Let's say my tax bracket, because I'm able to discount a lot of things, is only 18%. So I only need to bring in 195,000. Okay, but I know when I did this, okay, is 25%. And the only reason why I'm going off of my numbers from last year, I didn't have to prepare my true numbers, okay, for this year. So 213,000, but that now, what is my gross commission income? What is your gross commission income? Your gross commission income is your taxable income. Okay, your taxable income is what's left after transaction fees, commission splits, business expenses, and other costs that are deducted from your gross commission income. So you sell a $550,000 home. Let's do, a calculation, 550. And let's say you make 3%, 0.03, 16.5, right? But you're not taking home 16.5 because you're paying a commission split to your broker. And you're also taking into account your business expenses, which I hadn't put here yet. Okay, so when we say GCI, we're talking about the gross commission income from the top. And then we take the expenses. So let's go to the next page here. Okay. Assuming my split is 20% to the office, right? If your split is different, you plug in what that split is. So your taxable, oh, I'm sorry, wait a minute. This is the example. This is not me. I'm confused. Okay, so it's giving you a hypothetical example. Assuming your split to the broker is 20%, and assuming your taxable income is 172, you're going to keep 80% of that, which is 215, is what you need to bring in. Now I'm going to plug in, let's see, Marlene. Okay, this is the example. Now let's go to the reality. The following workspace is for a commission split. Okay, I'm going to put here 10% just to play with the numbers. So the first one is an example on this page. The way it says example, you have to take into account your broker cut. So a portion of your commission is going to go to your broker. It may be straight commission split based on a percentage of your gross commission income, or it might be capped at a certain value. You know that here with us, after you do a certain volume of business, you go to 100% commission. One of the nice benefits that we have as a company, which you don't typically have with other brokerages, right? Joel?
Reset to zero every year.
Right. And I worked 10 years for another company that was phenomenal, but I never ever got to 100%. That's not their commission model. But here it's telling 20%. Okay. It really varies from broker to broker. We'll go over a few different scenarios. So let's do this to experiment. Okay. 10%. And my taxable income, if we come back up to this, wait a minute, where is it? According to my taxable income in the formula, is 213,333. So from this page, which is page 5, this number here, the 213,333, you need to plug it here. Okay. So the income before my commission split needs to be $237,037. Remember what I said at the beginning, that I want to take home 160. But in order to net 160 and take into account my personal expenses, my business expenses, I need to take into account the broker split. So I really need to produce 237,037. Capiche? The bottom is for a cap. That's where you might fall under, because after a certain volume of business, you cap with us. So the cap gives you a flat rate. We're not going to do, for the purpose of this class, the cap, because most of our agents are new and they start at the 80-20 split, and then they go up, and then they go to 100%. So let's go to part 2. Now we're going to go into the business expenses. How much do you pay for the board yearly?
100.
You're nice. I pay $950. Why do I pay $950? Because I have a secondary membership for commercial real estate. I belong to the commercial board. Maybe later on you want to have a secondary membership with another MLS. Let's say the MLS that covers Tampa or the West Coast. So you have to factor that in. We don't have board application MLS fees, but you started new. You paid some MLS fees to start with, right? You paid it in full, but it was built in there. Okay. Now, we don't have a desk fee here, do we? So you don't have to worry about that. But I do renew my license every year, and the E&O. Here, you don't have to pay E&O insurance because we cover it at Canvas Real Estate. But I put in 150. I don't know why I put in 150 back then. And then $425 other. I'm trying to think if this was a continuing education course that I plugged in. Oh, Artec. Thank you, Joel. Yes, February 1st. Yes, Artec, $425, which you can pay it in 2 installments. And then I have $30 on, because I renew my domain name every year. Okay, so in business expenses, give and take, I have about $1,500 a year. Okay, so look what it's doing. We go back to the income before the commission split. This is an example. Plus the business expenses, and this is the targeted GSI on the example. Okay, so my income before my commission split, let me come back up. Remember, it's here. It's $237,037. I hope you're following along and typing and putting your expenses. Come on, Nicole. Let's do this. Okay, so I'm gonna put here 237, 037. So my income before commission split plus my annual expenses. So my targeted GCI, gross commission income, is about 238, almost 239,000. So imagine I want to take home 160, but I need to produce at least 238,000 to cover everything. So when you've reached page 8, you've gone all the way from targeted take-home income to targeted gross commission income, how much I need to produce. Okay, so you're going to add your gross commission income to the one-page success plan. And this is when it gets great, okay, at the end. So now we're going to determine how many deals do I need to close to reach that targeted gross commission income of 238,000. Well, that's going to be different for everybody, right? Okay. The example here that is given, assuming that the targeted gross commission income, as it says here on the page, is 219,000, and your average commission is 3%. Look how much you need to produce in gross commission income, 7.3 million. You see how it translates to the gross commission income? And I hope the 3% continues, even though sadly enough, we're seeing 2 and 2.5%, more and more. You put 2? No, I would put 2.5 because you are gonna get some 2.5s and your little 3%, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so what this example that they're giving us here, if you want to earn 219,000 in gross commission income, your average commission is 3%, then you'll need to earn about 7.3 million in total sales volume, meaning the prices of the homes sell enough properties to reach 7.3 in closed sales volume. But now let's go to the reality. Actually, I did do 3%. I want to stay with that 3%. Okay, so I'm going to do 3%. Okay, and remember, my targeted, oh, you're going to throw me off. Okay, okay. No, let's do both. 2.5. Okay. No me coge. Oh, wait a minute. No, doesn't it need to be 0? Hold on. Isn't it supposed to be 0, 2 or 0, 0? 2.5? No, no, I'm doing this wrong. Perdón. You're right. Okay, hold on. You see why I always tell my boyfriend, I know how to make money and I know how to spend money. I don't know how to calculate money. Okay, 0.0025. No? Oye, you're going to have to stick with 2 or 3%. Irelis is being very conservative. So let's do the 3%. Okay, so if I recall, my targeted gross commission income, let's go back to page 8. Mira. Remember, because I had to factor in my business expenses, okay? Was 238,592. That's the number they want you to plug in here. 238. That was your confusion. That's why I was telling you, you have to do it the way the system is set. 592. So in reality, let me see if it picks it up. Why isn't it picking it up? Ah, because it's like rounding it
Yeah,
off.
rounding.
Okay, because in my calculation, when I did this last time, was 7,953,067. Pero bueno, it's rounding it off. Let's leave it like that, okay? Ah, no, espérate. I'm gonna do it differently, just like I did it last time around. 238,592. It's still rounding it off. Okay, they must have fixed the formula. Now, look what it says here. How many homes do I have to sell to get to that targeted 7.9 million? Now is reality, but this is all going to depend on what your business is. Are you more of a listing broker or are you more of a selling broker? What percentage of your business are listings versus what percentage of your business are working with buyers? Okay. So the example they give here is 7.3 million. Average sales price 300. Now we all know that the average sales price is not 300. We're going to do 400. Thank you, Joelle. So look at this. If my average sales price is 400, is that safe to say? Okay, something is off here. Very off. They must have changed this formula. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go here and try to see if I could tweak this, because in reality, it was 067. Hold on. $793,795. No, it's 7,953,000, and I'm missing a zero. I mean, it keeps diverting back to this. Isn't that weird? You know what? That's a glitch in the system, because last year it didn't do that. But let me see if I could tweak this a little bit more. What if I put, okay, what if I put a 3 here? See what happens. Okay, let's leave it like that. Okay, this is just an exercise, Iala and Irelis and Nicole. So I tweaked it. If my targeted gross commission income is 238,593, assuming that I'm making 3% commission, my target sales volume is 7,953,100. Okay, so now we're going to see how many homes do I need to sell. The example here reverts back to $300,000 homes. But look at this. 7,953,100. Assuming the average sales price is 400,000. Look how many transactions I need to do. 19.88, 20 transactions. How many months do we have in the year?
24, so that's 2 transactions.
Two transactions a month, or less than 2 transactions a month. Now, but if you sell a $600,000 property, but then next month you sell 200, you know, it kind of weighs out. But let's assume it's not big. You know, like Nicole's looking at me, man, I have to produce 7.9 million. No, when you start breaking it down into transactions, if you think of it, it's not a lot. It's not even 20 transactions for 2024, which is doable. Now it gets even more interesting. Look what's going to happen now. So how many buyers and how many sellers are you working with on an average? Okay. I didn't want to split it 50-50. Maybe as a new agent, you work more with buyers than you do with sellers. So maybe 70% of your business is buyers and only 30% of your business is sellers. Even though there's a saying, listings is the name of the game. So your goal for 2024 is to perhaps work on getting more listings. You know why? Because you have control when you get listings of how much you're going to pocket. Okay, so assuming a seller is going to pay 6%, the standard used to be cooperate 3% with the co-broker. I've seen co-brokers only being compensated 2%, 2.5, and then at the closing table, you see that the listing agent is making more.
Yeah.
And there is a reason for that. Because you're the one spending the marketing dollars.
You found it.
You
You have
found
the-
the client. So once you put it on the MLS, you have 70,000 realtors selling for you. Okay?
I did three.
You do 3.5. Okay? Right. That's his value proposition. He was able to sell the seller the reason why I deserve to make X amount of money. Okay? So for this example, I put that 60% of my business, Iala, is sellers. And 40% of my business is buyers. You could change it, whatever. Okay? So this, this is an example. In the example, it was 25 transactions. Now let me plug in my numbers. I know I did it the other way around. I'm sorry, the top was the example. You could play with this. I put, for the purpose of this class, 0.40% of my business are sellers and 0.60% of my business are buyers. Okay? How many transactions did they say that I needed? 20. 20 transactions and 20 transactions. Okay? So Iala, for example, this year, what percentage of your business would you say were listings versus working with buyers?
No, I think around like 60-40, because I have 30 transactions, but
She does a nice spreadsheet. Okay, but where do you want to be next year?
in a quarter,
No, in terms
How
of,
many more?
40
Yeah.
transactions at least.
okay, but of those 40, okay, but of those 40, how many do you want them to be sellers?
Oh, more, like, I would like to be like 70-30%.
Okay, plug in 70-30, and that's your goal for 2024 because you're going to become a listing machine. You understand where I'm coming from? As a new realtor, you're probably going to work with buyers more at the beginning. But your goal is to be a listing agent, even though Ro from our Doral office, Ro loves to work with buyers. She is phenomenal at converting renters to buyers. She has a knack.
And there's nothing wrong with
There's
that.
nothing wrong with that. And she has her accreditation to work with buyers. She also got her accreditation to work with sellers. So she could change hats anytime she wants to
But that will happen like in the third year.
of your
because
business.
Then your buyers may be selling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like in the first 2-3 years, we're more.
Yeah, you're more buyer, you're more heavy-based buyers.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at the screen. If I have 40% sellers, and I think Nicole, you fall more in something like this, okay? And 60% of my business buyers, and I need 20 transactions. Look at what it turns into. I need to close 8 seller side transactions. And I need to close 12 buyer side transactions. 8. That's not even one listing a month.
Mhm.
Yeah. I have 7
Buyers is 1 buyer a month. Okay. Now it gets fun. What's your success rate with sellers and buyers? Because if you get 8 listings, are you going to close the 8 listings?
You get listing appointment.
No, these are listings.
Yeah.
If you get 8 listings, is
Oh,
there a guarantee you're going to close
Right,
8?
right.
Maybe you close
Yeah.
5 or 6 because, well, in this market, but
Yeah, but
still, deals fall apart.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what. Okay,
Yeah, 5%, yeah, between 5-10%.
okay.
One of them is gonna fall.
One of them is going to fall, but this thing is going to tell you exactly what that is. Okay, so what's your success rate? Okay, What's your success rate with sellers? How many seller transactions did they say that I needed?
9,
No, 8.
8.
So this is the number you plug here. 8. Okay, but that doesn't mean that every time that I go to a listing presentation, I'm gonna get the listing.
Yeah.
So let's assume that my success rate is 0.80. I'm pretty good at closing. I'm gonna tell you what my first broker told me. You need to become the rainmaker, the one that gets the leads and closes.
Yep.
And I'm very good at getting the leads and closing. The research, I'm good. Negotiating, I'm very good. So that's why I'm tooting my own horn here, that at least 80% I secure. I don't get 100. So look how many listings I really need. 10 to end up closing hopefully 8. Okay, so my number was 7.9 million in volume sales. I needed to bring in over $200,000, but when you start trickling down, it's not a lot. 10 listings, that's not even one listing a month. I would rather spend time like Joel does and make phone calls for 2 hours every morning. He doesn't answer emails. He ignores the texts. No, I'm just kidding. But I get at least 1 listing appointment a week, 2 listing appointments a week, or 3, than putting a buyer in my car, spending 2 tanks of gas, showing them 20 properties, and then they don't buy. Right? Okay. So I need 10. Okay. Now, but we don't win every listing appointment we go to list 19 homes. This is the example, blah, 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 blah. So what did it say for me? I need 10 listings. So I'm going to plug in the 10 listings that I need. But will those 10 listings sell? Irelis? Will the 10 listings? Okay, I need 8, but I need to secure 10. And then I get 10, but do the 10 sell? No. Let's say only 80% sell because I'm going to price them right. I'm a master at marketing. So look how many listing appointments I need. Your appointments. So 12.5 appointments you need. That's 1 appointment a month. Think of it. But if you manage to do 1 listing appointment a week, your numbers are going to shoot up. Capiche? Okay. Let's almost finish this here. What's your success rate with buyers? I don't have a lot of patience with buyers, but it is what it is. So I put here, because I think from the top it was 12. Let me double check. There it is. Page 11. I needed to have 12 buyers, 1 a month. ¿Cierto?
18.
You need 18? Okay, maybe you're working too much with buyers. We need to tweak those numbers. Okay, I needed, what did I need? Perdóname. Was it 12? Let me go back. I need, yes, 12. I need to close 12 buyers. That's 1 a month. Okay, but I'm really only going to succeed, but I really need to have 15 buyers in my pipeline next year. 1.5 buyers a month. Right now, if I go to my bulk of business, I'm working with at least 9 buyers right now in 1 month. Okay? And then I pick and choose which one are viable or which one are not. The beauty of our business is that you're going to get to a point that you're going to be able to pick and choose who you do business with, because you don't want to spin your wheels and not have it turn into anything, because you don't get a check every Friday. You only get a check the day of closing. Okay, so Now, put in the work every day. Now, this is the fun part. I want to hear from the group here. How are you going to generate that business? Okay? How are you going to generate that business? Can somebody give me a buyer lead generation activity? What is the number one buyer lead generation activity? That's a good one, but that's not number one. Buyer. Referrals. That's the word I wanted to hear. Everything in life is a referral. And I'm going to do capital letters. Okay, write this in here. Okay, because this is going to help you determine what your daily activities will be, which is part of the productivity coaching program. Referrals. You want referrals and referrals and referrals and referrals. Because people that are referred to you, they gave you a good recommendation. If not, they're not going to refer you anybody, right? Open houses. Open houses. I was telling our broker this morning, I'm frustrated with Armando's listing. I have lowered the price 3 times. I've done reverse prospecting. I mailed out 230 postcards. We've done open houses. We were offering $5,000 credit to the seller and $2,000 bonus to the listing agent. And it's been 4 months and I haven't sold a property that is beautifully, immaculately remodeled. Okay, association is only $359. The association has 10% reserves. If it's a 55 plus. Okay, but the 238 postcards, the majority of the owners in that subdivision are Canadian and from New York and New Jersey. And it still hasn't sold. You know what Ernesto, our broker, responded to me? You know what he responded to me? Open houses. You need to have somebody there every single weekend. Because open houses will help you promote it, but you could get seller and buyer leads. Like Ricardo from our office. After I sent out the postcards, I gave him the list of the 238 owners, and he's been cold calling. And he came in the other day really happy. He says, I got a seller lead. I said, haven't you sold my condo yet? But he got a seller lead. Open houses. And it's free to do open houses. Yeah, you could do Facebook Marketplace. Okay, what else? Prospecting. Aren't you supposed to be doing prospecting every day? In other words, cold calling. You have cold calling. What is cold calling for us? Where do you cold call? Irelis? Look at the computer. RedX. The last time I checked the expired listings, on one day, there were over 400 expired listings in one day. Yes, people don't like to do cold calling, but what you do is you jazz it up. You call somebody from the RedX list that you don't know, and then you call someone from your sphere of influence. So if the person that you called before just hung up the phone, now you're talking to somebody that you know. And you forget about the fact that somebody was rude. So that is what we call prospecting, warm calling. Right, Joel? Mm-hmm. Okay. Just listed, just sold calls. Well, from our office.
From our office.
Okay. Now, when I started, it was postcards, right, Joel? Open house hangers, knocking on doors, walking neighborhoods. meeting people. Now, what is the marketing? Social media. Somebody told me the other day, oh, I don't have Twitter. I don't like Twitter. I said, neither do I, but the rest of the world does. So how do you do social media marketing? Core listing machine. Through our technology platform. I checked, we had 364 listings a week ago. You think that's enough listings for you to market different listings of people from our offices? Marketing. Social media. You don't want to be posting all the time. How about opening up a Linktree account? Do you know that Linktree is free? And you can, unless you do the premium, but you could put as many links. In other words, you post on Linktree and it goes to Facebook, it goes to Instagram, it goes to Twitter, it goes to this, it goes to that. And you only post once. So you create the ad in Core Listing Machine, you email it to yourself or you text it to yourself, and right from your phone, you put it on Linktree. Voila. Daily. Not once a week, not once a month, daily. Okay? Now, you're missing the great part here. Okay, marketing. Okay, direct mail. Direct mail still works. Okay? And I'll tell you why it works. Let's say you got a lot of absentee owners. Okay, there are people that still like to read. And if I would do direct mail, postcards, okay? Postcards, postcards, postcards. Because if something comes in an envelope, they'll probably throw it away, right, Joelle? But at least a postcard, they might look at it. And when you do direct mail, it's not once. It's called farming. So somebody plants a seed. Do you think the tree or the fruit or the vegetable grows by watering it once? No, you have to have at least 6 months worth of farming in the same subdivision. Because sooner or later, you're going to pique their interest, or something happened in their lives that they're looking to buy or sell, and they're going to remember that you're the expert that has business in their neighborhood. Everything is called perception. Okay, so let me go fast. Okay, landing pages. Do you know that you could do landing pages with Core Listing Machine? Squeeze pages. Do you know you could do squeeze pages in Core Listing Machine so people can connect with you and register in your CRM? And this is one of my favorites, networking. Events, school, hair salon, church, your gym, networking, okay? With as many people you can. By the way, we in the office joined, what do you call this? Joined the Miami Lakes Chamber of Commerce, and this year we're going to become an active member there. And past clients. So if a client was happy with your service, don't you think they're going to refer somebody to you? Okay, let's go to seller lead generation activities. Call expired listings. Call for sale by owners. Relocation, people relocating out of state. You could get referrals from realtors from other areas that could refer a client that wants to sell their home. Okay? Open houses as well. Marketing, direct mail. I love this type of marketing. Just sold. You take a property of canvas. It doesn't need to be your listing. That's sold in a particular neighborhood. You do a search and remind, and you send a direct mail that says just sold. You're not saying that you sold it. You're saying that it's sold, and it's sold for X value. And maybe a neighbor in that subdivision might be interested in selling, especially people that have owned their properties 10 years or more that have equity. Marketing, direct mail, and I know Joel is an expert in this. Market reports. Keeping neighbors in a subdivision in an area informed of what's happening in the market. Okay? Landing pages. Oops. And all these tools are available to you in Artec that is powered by KV Core. And we have all the bells and whistles. We don't have like the basic tools that some other companies offer. We offer carte blanche, the premium concierge services. Past clients. See, it gets to a point that you don't have to farm because those past clients are always going to be calling you to give you referrals. And my favorite, referrals. Okay? So we'll share this with you. But this is what you have to build in on a daily basis to generate business. Business is not going to come in through the door magically. Business is not going to knock at your home while you're in your pajamas on the computer. Business is out there and business can be gained. So that's a wrap. So let's put this all into perspective. And when you finish this, I highly recommend you print this and put it on your refrigerator or in your home office. And you're going to be looking at it every single day. Remember what I said at the beginning that I wanted to take home 160 clean. Look how it plugs in the numbers for you. I need to generate $238,592 in gross commission income, which translates to 7.9 million in sales volume. And I need 19.88. It was 20, but whatever. So look what it says here. I need to close 8 sellers listings and I need to close 12 buyers. So that's 1 buyer a month and every other month, give and take, right? A seller. Okay. How many appointments do I need? The system told me, it calculated that I needed 12.5 appointments next year to get listings and 15 buyers slide clients. When you divide that into 12 months, I only need to really get a minimum of 1 listing appointment a month and work with 1 buyer a month. Do you think in 30 days of the month, you only work 20 days and you rest 2 days a week, which would be beautiful, but in real estate, you know how it is. But in 30 days, can you manage to get 1 listing appointment a month and work with 1 buyer a month? I think you can. So imagine if this number surpasses and you get 2 listing appointments a month, you just increase your odds of getting more listings. And I'm done. So what's your input about all of this? It's not as hard as it seems, right?
Not at all. So again, it's just a matter, as I shared earlier, that a top producing agent knows their numbers. And these are the numbers that we as agents, and if we want to come to top producers, we need to know. And when you break it down, it looks insurmountable because when you look at that production of 7.9 million, almost $8 million, you say, "How am I going to do that?" But when you start doing the numbers, and especially in South Florida with the average prices being where they're at, then you actually reduce that. So let's say that you don't have that goal of 8 million. That, and as I shared with all the agents, the pathway to 100% commission within 1 year. That's 12 transactions, 1 transaction a month. That'll put you somewhere $4 to $5 million. $4 to $5 million with the prices the way they are now. That's over $100,000 worth of earnings commission. If you do that for 2 or 3 years, basically each and every one of you who will listen to this training, you could basically say bye-bye to your current full-time 9 to 5 job.
Yep.
Unless you're making 6 figures and that you're really living and that's your dream job. So reality, this business will enable you to achieve and obtain anything that you want to. The only thing is you have to put the work in.
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to before we wrap up, there's a couple more slides that I'm going to share, and I'm going to stop sharing this for now, but we'll continue with the presentation here. And let me see where I'm at before we go to we're going to wrap this up. So in the last few pages of this presentation, you have the lead generation activities for prospecting, marketing, and both that you will need to do prospecting, a combination of prospecting and marketing for these other segments of the business. Aside from that, you want to look at yourself as a boat and you need to float. So you need to get real, get right, mindset and action. And where do you want to be? Your current goals, where are you now, reality? What dollar productive activities will assist you in filling the gap? And here's a couple of examples. Lead script and dialogues, but practice them 45 minutes a day. Lead generate for 3 hours a day, and so on and so forth. So this is an exercise for you to do. Now, in addition to this presentation, I have created, or I'm sharing with you, a planning schedule, organizing your business planning schedule or recommendations. And there is for you to how to break down your day using, again, block time, using the one thing book, the one thing philosophy of blocking out minimum of 2 to 3 hours a day at a time. And then the rest of the work, what it will look like in the afternoon. So there you have it in item 4. And least but not last, if you're joining the productivity coaching program, this is what will help you and propel you of you tracking your numbers of what it is that you're doing week by week, and then moving it down the road for the remainder of the year. Let's say 6 months down the road by 4th of July, how many days you worked in lead generating, how many hours you generated, how many hours you prospected, how many contacts you made, how many contacts you added to the CRM. Because at the end of the day, where you want to be and track are these. These are the most important goals and items to track to succeed in this business. Track appointments, track contact attempts, track contacts made, track contacts added to your database with gold or solid gold information. Because once you do, you're on your way to becoming a millionaire real estate agent. And like the book says, it's not about the money. It's about being the best that you can be. So now is the time. Between now and December 31st, you basically have 31 plus days to put this together, to take action, take the time, work on yourself, think as to what you want your business to look like. It's not rocket science, guys. You could do it. I believe you could do it, and each and every one of you could have a successful real estate business, but more importantly, launch your real estate business in 2024. And you have Marlene, you have myself, you have Canvas, and you have the tools. Okay. So let's make 2024 a year that you could say, I had a breakthrough in my real estate business, I had a breakthrough in my finances, and I had a breakthrough in everything else that you're looking to have a breakthrough. Okay. If you believe it, then you could achieve. So with this, I will end our recording. All of you are going to receive this recording. You're going to receive the attachment to this presentation, plus the workbook that we just did as to plugging in the numbers. And moving forward, as a follow-up, if you need to reach out to me and have a one-on-one session, I'm going to make myself available in December to help you get your business going. So reach out to me, you know where to reach me. Until then, take care and God bless.